Welcome, traveler. 5 things I'd like to see changed ASAP that would make Diablo right away a better game for everyone. Number 1, let's talk about Lair bosses, and there are 2 glaring issues. The first one being invulnerability phases. Duriel and Dariel, the Harbinger of Hatred, you can't just blast them away anymore. No, doesn't matter if you do billions of damage, you gotta go through their mechanics. That's okay one single time. But doing it 20 times in a row, you just really don't want to fight that boss anymore. And that also leads to number 2. You have to go through these phases, and then they're not even dropping greater affix loot. I'm in Torment 4, and I'm trying to kill Duriel to get my Ophidian Iris in greater affix, and I'm not getting it. Not even after 20 Duriels. If I'm lucky, there is 2 or 3 greater affix items dropping throughout all that time. But I'm in Torment 4, and I only want greater affix items. I literally have to kill Belial to get those. And if I'm not getting ambushed by Belial, well, good riddance. How am I going to get those? Oh, yes, right. I'm going to buy duped Belial mats because that's the only way how to get greater affix items. Thank you, Blizzard, for making it undesirable to fight Lair bosses, undesirable loot on Lair bosses in Torment 4, and to pretty much force people into actually real money trading or buying, obviously, dupe Belial mats. That has to drastically change, either by making Belial a guarantee to ambush you in Torment 4 if you kill a boss fast enough, by removing the invulnerability phases. Maybe you have to do them once per season and then you can just blast the bosses. And finally, by actually adding loot to these Lair bosses again. Torment 4 should at least have 1 or 2 greater affix items per kill. Set and go. Otherwise, why am I even spending my time there? And now, as we're talking about Torment 4 and Lair bosses, how about our skills? Because right now, almost nothing is viable, or only a couple of are. As a Necromancer, I can play my Blood Wave, then I can play minions and throw Blights in, or I can actually play Blight. But Blood Surge, Blood Lance, Bone Spear, completely unusable. Basic skill build doesn't exist. Corpse Explosion build, hell no. The Bone Spirit build from earlier, nope, also not a thing. And since they capped Army of the Dead, you can't even blast people with it anymore. And playing Curse builds together with a Curse Key passive, not happening. And Necromancer is not the only one that has this problem. But I would like to be able to enter Torment 4 and to farm Torment 4 Lair bosses, at least to actually finish the seasonal journey, right? I mean, like the seasonal journey, Pit 75. It would be nice if every single skill could do that. If I could just play a Corpse Explosion build, a good Corpse Explosion build, not just randomly thrown together skills. No, it has to be a good Corpse Explosion build with the right Corpse Explosion uniques. Yet, though, I would really like to play this in Torment 4. I would like to play Blood Search again. I would like to, every skill should be minimally viable. Not every build should be able to do Pit 100. Not every build should be equally strong. But I should be able to reach Torment 4. And I should be able to kill things. It can't be that hard, Blizzard. I'm sorry. And if every skill would be viable for Torment 4, I would like to see another thing added to the game. And I'm talking about personal difficulty. Because right now in Torment 4, Infernal Hordes, Nightmare Dungeons, Undercities, they don't get harder. They're in Torment 4, and as soon as I can beat Torment 4, these are not a challenge anymore. What I would like to see is that I can go to the Enchanter, give him a Infernal Horde key, and I can juice it up. I can make it 4 times as difficult for 4 times the loot. I could go into a Nightmare Dungeon or even a Nightmare Dungeon escalation and triple that up. Maybe I can combine multiple of them together in a super escalation, anything. You might remember from a few seasons back when we had the Mine Cages. The Mine Cages were used to make a Helltide more challenging. That was before we got the expansion. That was a great item because you could choose to have more difficult content that is only more difficult for yourself, but not for anyone else. So we don't need a Torment 5, a Torment 6, a 7, and an 8. No, we need to give players the agency to personally adapt their difficulty to what they'd like to have. We have something like this with the Pit, only that the Pit actually doesn't get more difficult, right? Further into the Pit just gets more spongy. I'm not fighting a bigger threat. But if I could now make my Infernal Horde also more lethal, but for more rewards, I would actually have to change my build because I do more than enough damage, right? I don't need 20 billion damage for Infernal Hordes right now. If 10 billion is enough for 5 billion, then I could invest more into defense and do a harder one where I need more defense and face a bigger challenge and have more fun, for more loot, for greater affix items, for a higher chance for mythics or even resplendent sparks, right? So give me a chance to individually influence my game or do it even together with others, but give me some agency here. And there's actually another difficult thing, and that would be gold. Why is resetting your masterwork costing 5 million gold? And that no matter if it's a 4 times, an 8 times, or a 12 times. When I'm already going to be losing all my materials, right? And then it's going to take my gold away. Sure, I have 10 billion because I traded things away. But if you're a solo self-owned player, you would be kind of forced to do the Hell Tides for more gold, or you would have to go into Infernal Hordes just for gold. Because, let's be fair, if I now want to reroll on the Enchanta and get my Lucky Hit Chance resource maybe into +3 to core skills, Skeleton Mage Mastery, whatever, I might pay 100 million and above just for one roll on one item. That means to roll all my items on my whole inventory, it could take me 1 billion gold or 500 million. And I'd have to farm that. And then it's not done, right? Then I still have to masterwork. And the masterworking also costs me money. Like 1 million here for the upgrade and 5 million for the reset. And if I don't hit the masterwork, I'd have to do it again. While I will lose 5 million gold again. So how can it be that I run out of gold if I'm not trading over actually running out of Opticide or Forgotten Souls? I don't know. You should never be gold capped. Sure, gold is a trading commodity right now. But if I run out of gold re-rolling a stat, and then I don't have a gold to masterwork in any way anymore, and I just have to farm gold to like influence my build, or I don't even have enough gold to put a goddamn aspect on, because yes, putting an aspect on costs also 1 million gold. Everything is so damn expensive and you're just bleeding dry. You could say, hey, we're bleeding you dry so there's not too much gold in the economy. But on the first day of this season, there's already 100 billion gold in the economy. Blame the real money trading, right? But you can't ruin the economy by giving people too much gold. You could ruin real money trading by giving people too much gold. And now that we talked about making every core skill viable, I would like to see them overhaul the whole thing. Because having the blight into a bit more radius or whatever, and then damage, and that's it, feels kind of not enough. Either give us like further options, so after 1, 2, another 3, 4 to choose from. So I could go meaningful in depth. I want to go Bloodlands, then Enhanced Bloodlands, then, you know, I go for the more overpower damage, and then I have another overpower or whatever's option. Cool. Or we could go down the Last Epoch way, where I choose to specialize into a skill. So I would say I'm going to do a Sever build, and then Sever gets its own little skill tree, like the Mercenary. So just put it up here, right? And then you have Sever, and for Sever, I get like an own little skill tree that would give me like a Darkness Sever or a Freezing Sever, a Minion Sever, like, right? An actual, like maybe even a bit longer, that when I then play the skill, I get more points into it that I can invest, and that gets stronger with investing more ranks or something in that direction. But you get my drift. I would really like to see a bit more in-depth choices. I don't need Path of Exile complexity. I don't need Last Epoch complexity. But a bit more choice, a bit more freedom, especially when it comes down to elemental stuff, right? We have Corpse Explosion, Radius, or Shadow. But then I just turn it into Shadow, but I can't really do it further, right? I can't do something cooler out of it. Like when I then do Shadow, when I then do increase the explosion, then per range extension, I get more damage, right? You make it bigger, and then it slows down, right? And then if I extend the range even more, then it goes like for super explosions. There could be much more than what we have right now. Now, obviously, as I said in the beginning, we would also like to have more endgame, meaningful grinds, more bosses like Uber Lilith and Uber Lilith to actually be a challenge, plus individual difficulty juicing. Big grievances you have, put them in the comments below so I can send them to Blizzard, because they've been asking us for feedback. And the expansion is up and coming, but the expansion is still malleable. So the more you tell us, the more we can tell them, and the more we can hopefully shape the future of the game. And now go watch this one and absolutely enjoy it. Take care.